No trace of this Clock King, though.
How could anyone survive a wreck like this?
If I could, he could.
Then, you think we'll hear from him again?
I wouldn't be surprised, Commissioner. In fact, I'd say it's only a matter of time.
Even if he uses them as bait to take down the villain. Even though he didn't this episode, but... Robin saved the day this episode.
Hey, Robin! I care about you so much. Now go be bait for this supervillain.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman!
People of Earth, I am Darkseid, Lord of Apocalypse.
Service with a smile? I know about all your other major enemies, but you never mentioned him. He was the biggest, wasn't he?
Oh, come on. It's Lex Flippin' Luthor. Why should we trust him?
What? Like a bunch of super friends? More like a Justice League.
This is episode 10 of the DCAU Rewatch, and Connor is not here. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it, but guess who is here this time? Everest is here.
Yo, guys, what's up? I'm back. Yeah.
So, Everest, you missed like 5 episodes last time.
Yeah.
Just tell everyone your brief thoughts on all those episodes and what you give it.
Alright, See No Evil was like, I don't know, I didn't really enjoy that episode. There was a lot of stuff that I'm like, why was this in the show? And, I mean, if some people enjoy it, that's great, but I didn't really like it. So, I give See No Evil a D+. And then, Beware the Grey Ghost is a great episode. We have Adam West as the Grey Ghost, and it's just such a cool concept. I love a lot of that. So I give that an A. Then Prophecy of Doom, again, it's like really weird. There's some kind of cool stuff, but I don't know, I just didn't really think it fits that well. So I enjoyed parts of it, so I gave it a C-.
Whoa,
and then...
That shocks me. You gave See No Evil a lower grade than Prophecy of Doom?
Yeah.
Dang, that's interesting.
I don't know, I didn't really like... I don't know.
Yeah, I can see why someone wouldn't like See No Evil. I enjoyed it for... mostly.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't really like it. Then, Feet of Clay is also a great 2-parter, and I think they did that Clayface origin story really, really well, so I think I'm gonna give that an A as well. And then Joker's Favor is in, like, my top 5 favorite episodes of this series. From what I can remember, it was still so good, and I'm gonna give Joker's Favor an A+.
He literally stalked that man. Okay, so 2 A's, an A+, a C-, and a D+.
Yeah.
Alright, so this episode we're going to be talking about the next 3 episodes of Batman the Animated Series, Vendetta, Fear of Victory, and The Clock King. Let's go ahead and jump into Vendetta. What did you think of this episode, Everest?
No, I actually did quite enjoy it more than I remembered. I don't think that, Killer Croc design is very good at all. I don't really like it, but
yeah,
other than...
The Croc design is one of the few designs I don't care for in the show.
Like, why is he gray? What the heck? Like,
yeah, he's gray, and he doesn't really look like a crocodile. Like,
no.
only his teeth are the only crocodile-ish thing about him, really.
Yeah, it's not a great design, but I did kind of like the concept of him, trying to, frame Bullock, and I thought that was pretty cool, and how Batman had to kind of figure that out, use his detective skills, find the underwater caves and stuff. There were some, okay fights between Killer Croc and Batman. I thought the way, Batman defeated him was pretty good, and there's some stuff that doesn't quite work for me, but overall, even though it's not like a super memorable episode, I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, I enjoyed this episode a lot more than I thought I was going to, just from past viewings. And I've always enjoyed the concept of Croc framing Bullet. I just I just find that kind of stuff interesting when a criminal just wants to frame a cop or something and impersonates them and all that. Sets them up for crimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the part where Croc is in Bullock's car just waiting for him. I think it's after he gets released from prison. And Batman's in the back seat when Croc's about to do something to Bullock and just grabs his hand. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the shot.
That was cool.
And I thought the final battle was pretty good. Between Batman and Croc in the sewers.
In the sewers. Yeah, that was good.
And I didn't remember that... I mean, obviously knew Croc made it, but I didn't remember that Batman actually carried him out of the sewers and Bullock arrested him.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they were going to leave it ambiguous where Croc just kind of disappears, but no.
Mm-hmm.
Batman got him. And I love the end between Batman and Bullock and the very end scene where something's on TV about Bullock and he's just says something about I'm going to keep locking him up or whatever. And that smile Batman has, I love it because it really shows you the dynamic between Batman and Bullock. Like, they're not always... They both fight crime, but in different ways. They abide by the law. Batman even says something like that in the episode. So, overall, I really enjoyed it, and I think this is one of the better introduction episodes for a villain that we've had so far.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'd probably say it's about on the level the Scarecrow one is.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's go ahead and give it some letter grades. What would you give it, Everest?
I give it a solid B.
Oh yeah, completely agree. Solid B.
Yeah, alright.
Okay, jumping into the next episode, Fear of Victory, Return of the Scarecrow. He has a different design this time around. What did you think of this episode? Also, Return of Robin. So, what do you think of this episode, Everest?
Yeah. I've always just kind of, like, low-key liked this episode. It's never been, like, my favorite, but I've always thought it was just kind of a fun watch, and it kind of stayed that way when I was rewatching it. I do quite like it, actually, and the Return of Robin is cool, and I like that he's, like, in college, and he has a connection to one of the victims and all that. And I think the part about him having to, like, overcome the fear toxin is pretty cool. I think, you know, some of the Scarecrow's plan felt kind of weird to me, like, when he's gassing all these, like, you know, athletes and all that. And overall, I think, again, some things do not work, and, like, there's nothing completely stands out. I think the new design is a little bit better than the original design. I liked it a bit more. And again, this series does a good job of showing how Batman uses his detective skills, and I love when he goes to the jail and the one guy on Scarecrow's team is like, nope, he's in his, he's definitely here in the jail, Batman. And Batman's just like, bruh, no. And how they stopped him was pretty cool. And I enjoy this episode.
Something else about when they go to Arkham to confront Scarecrow and find out he's not there. I think this is the first episode where there are villain cameos inside Arkham Asylum. I don't remember ever seeing them before this. Because I know they show like Joker and Arkham and stuff, but I don't remember seeing other villains.
Yeah. Dang, that's cool, actually. I never thought about that.
Yeah, because you see Joker, you see Ivy, Two-Face.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that's going to be happening a lot in the future of the show, but I think this was the first time they did it.
Yeah.
And it just really fleshes out that world even more, and it's really cool. And when they find out that Scarecrow isn't there, you just hear Joker laugh.
Mm-hmm.
I love Joker's role in this episode, even though it's very, very minor.
Oh, yeah.
It just elevated the episode a little bit more for me, and yeah, like you said, this is an episode I've always enjoyed, but I've never thought it was, like, absolutely amazing, like, not mind-blowing or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't say it's elite, but it's really enjoyable. I would say it's great, maybe? Close to great. I wouldn't quite put it up there, but
yeah,
it's a really good, enjoyable episode. I think I did enjoy the final battle, but I think it was a little more, if the animation was a bit more fluid and just Scarecrow kind of imposed more of a physical threat on Batman, it would have elevated it a bit, but...
Yeah, I thought, too, like, maybe, like, I don't know, somehow they could have raised the stakes a little bit more, because it didn't feel like this was, like, a big deal.
Yeah, because it was just about a vial falling in a football stadium. And just the way the vial gets tossed around is kind of ridiculous, honestly. But I like how they show that Robin overcomes his fear to save everyone. And I mean, they kind of, even though Robin doesn't, most of the episode he's just scared out of his mind, they kind of show why Robin is important to Batman in this episode.
Yeah.
Because even when Robin's not wanting to go, Batman's like, no, I come, you can be my extra set of eyes. Which I really love that, because it acknowledges that Batman cares about Dick, and, like, he wants him to come when he can.
Yeah.
Even if he uses him as bait to take down the villain. Even though he did in this episode. Robin saved the day this episode.
Hey, Robin, I care about you so much. Now go be bait for this supervillain.
Yeah, and I really like how they tested the powder that was with the telegrams on the cat.
Oh, yeah.
And they explain it, which it all made sense. I remember the whole thing about the adrenaline is what caused the fear, because your excitement turns to fear. So glad they explained that, because that would probably be a complaint for some people if they didn't. So I don't have much more to say about this episode. Let's go ahead and give it some letter grades. Everest, what would you give it?
Okay, I give this one a B+. I really enjoy it.
Yep, same, B+. We're just gonna be on the same page throughout this whole rewatch, like.
Yeah.
Okay, so next episode, The Clock King. What did you think of this one?
I would say this one is a solid step down from the first two that we talked about. It's still an okay episode. I wouldn't put it near the worst of the worst by any means, but you know,
Clock King just doesn't really interest me as a villain.
They tried their best to make him interesting, but what can you really do? Like, I don't care about this guy who's, you know, quote unquote superpowers, you know, he's good with time and stuff. And a lot of this episode is just ridiculous and kind of almost comical, and some of it does work for me. I like how ridiculous it gets, but some of it feels pretty out of place with the whole series and Gotham and everything. And, you know, I think that, like, having, like, the kind of final battle thing with, who did he put, the mayor on the, like, clock? Clock hand? Because
at the beginning of the episode is flashback, and I think he was a lawyer at the time, not the mayor yet, and Fugit, who is Clock King in this adaptation, basically thinks he got screwed over by him, and he lost like $20 million, and he blames it all on him because he screwed up his schedule.
Yeah, it's like kind of just like, what are we even doing here? I do think there is, you know, a little bit of entertainment to be found in this episode, and Batman is still great as always, and I do like when Batman's like kind of stuck in the room and Clock King's like, that won't work, and Batman goes to another thing and Clock King's like, haha, that won't work because this and that. I thought it was sort of cool to see him almost outsmarting Batman for a while.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clever how Batman escaped. He used the film and the recording tape to like get the explosive outside the room, and then he blew it up.
So I think like that stuff was pretty cool, but otherwise I wasn't that interested in this episode. I still think it's fine, and I didn't hate watching it or anything, but it's just never gonna be one that I really remember as being a great episode.
Yeah, this is definitely not the worst episode of the show, but if I like Clock King a bit more, maybe I'd enjoy it more, but I just don't find Clock King that interesting of a villain. But I really like the final battle when Batman's throwing punches and everything, and he's like, I know it takes you 1/20th of a second to throw a punch.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was probably the best usage of his time obsession, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Is that it shows why he can be capable of fighting Batman, even though he obviously doesn't oppose any physical prowess or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, you basically hit on everything. Like, he just screws with time. He's throwing stuff off schedule, like he's messing with the traffic lights, making everyone wreck or whatever.
Yeah.
And when the train's supposed to come at Mirror Hill's thing, it doesn't show up on time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just stuff like that throughout the episode, and the only stuff I really enjoyed was Batman escaping the room and then the final battle with him and Clock King. Also enjoyed the very final scene with Batman and Gordon.
Oh yeah.
Where Gordon's like, no one could have survived that or whatever, and Batman's like, if I did, he could. Or if I could, he could, so.
Yeah.
And then Gordon says something like, so you think we'll be seeing him again? And Batman's like, yep, I think it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, but like, I don't think he ever shows up again in the series.
He does once.
Oh, he does. He has that. Okay.
Yeah. It'll be a while, but he shows back up.
Yeah. All right.
So, let's go ahead and give this one some letter grades.
Oh. How you want to go first this time?
Okay, I'll give this one a C.
I completely agree. I was hoping you would go C minus, so I could go C, and then it would be different. But no.
Yeah, we're just on the same page. We just like the same stuff.
Yeah.
If Connor was here, he would have gave completely different grades, probably.
Yeah, that's why we need Connor, so it's not just like two guys saying the same thing. And
yeah, we've already talked about the show a lot, so that's why.
Yeah.
Okay, so next episode we'll be wrapping up Volume 1 with Appointment in Crime Alley, The Mad Hatter, I'm pretty sure that's the name of the episode, and Dreamed in Darkness, so we'll be back next week, or next episode with those three.
The cowl is familiar, but I'm blanking on the face.